Have you been to Jasper? Yes. Have you been to Jasper before?
Yeah.
Alright, have you been on the tram before?
No, it's first time.
First time.
Yeah.
Alright. So some background information for you. This was built in 1964. At the time, you had some Japanese, German, some other European mountaineer groups that would come through the Canadian Rockies, hike up all the mountains. They were loving the views they got. Thing is, they knew it wasn't the most accessible thing for everyone to be doing that, especially back in the day when all you had was the basic gear for it. So in 1963, a man by the name of William McGregor had the idea that a great way to give everyone those views would be to build a tramway. So the way this works is we've got two cars, one down here, one up at the top. They run opposite direction of each other. So when we're going up, they're going down. Same thing, the other way. Unlike a chairlift or a gondola that goes around and around, this is just two rope systems that go back and forth and counterbalance each other. So if you look to the side or behind us, you can see that there are two ropes there.
Yeah.
The bottom one is the hull rope, and that's what we're actually moving with. That's what moves through the system. The top cable is a support cable. It's what holds the tension for the system and what we're being moved across on. You're looking back at the town, you can see the trains running through. So that's part of the Canadian National Railway going from Vancouver out to Toronto, eventually out to the Atlantic seaboard via some other routes too. That was built back in 1910. So the town really started developing after that train was first built. If you look kind of back in history, so when we had the last ice age about 12,000 years ago, as the glacier started to recede through this area about 8,000 years ago, it carved out a lot of these valleys and created some of those lakes. Once those all retreated, you started getting plant life and animals coming back into the area. With that, you had humans who were traveling with their food sources. And so you had indigenous groups living through these areas for thousands of years. They lived a nomadic lifestyle, so they were following the seasons and the animals that came with the seasons. Not settling down in any area like this for too long, just with how cold the winters get. There's better places to be. It wasn't until around the 1700s when you started getting some fur traders coming out here that would develop permanent posts. So at the beginning, it was a group, First Nations group called the Métis, which is a mix of Indigenous and French peoples working for the Northwest Trading Company. They would establish fur trading posts going all the way out to the Pacific, and then all of those goods would go back to Ottawa, from there up to St. Lawrence, back to France and England. That's kind of the history for the next couple of hundred years, more or less, until you get the trains at the beginning of the 1900s. At the beginning, those were all steam engines, so little towns popped up all along that trainway to resupply that train, all done. In the 1950s, we switched over to diesel engines, so you didn't need all those small towns to constantly resupply the train. So a lot of those small towns disappeared as people moved away for other jobs. Jasper's population actually grew and expanded since then, mostly due to tourism. So we're kind of at a perfect crossroads for a bunch of different outdoor activities. You have the Athabasca River to our right, flowing from south to north. A lot of rafting companies operate out of there. You've got some beautiful lakes all around here. So to the right of the Athabasca, you can start to see some of those pretty blue-green lakes over there. At the front, it's Beauvert, behind it is Annette, and behind that is Lake Edith. There are a few lodges that are based off of those lakes there. There's a golf course there as well. And then behind us, to the south, you can't see it, but there's the ski fields. So Marmot Ski Bay's in. We've got tourists coming year-round for skiing in the winter season, and then for hiking, going canoeing, kayaking, rafting, all of that in the summer. If you look uphill, you can see that we have now ascended into the alpine zone. So if you're paying attention on your drive up here, you can see that there are trees all around, deciduous and coniferous trees. As we start getting a bit higher up, you can look back, see it's all conifers at that point. The weather's already dropped a fair bit, the climate's dropped. And up here, the climate drops off pretty rapidly. There's almost no trees up here. The ones you do see are quite stunted. They just have a very short growing season. So take a look at the patch of trees over there. Those could be the same age, same species as the bigger trees you're seeing down in the subalpine zone. They're just such a short growing season because the weather's so much colder when you get to this altitude. Might not look like much, but there is life all around. On every rock, there's lichen sprawled across it. There's kind of like light green, bright green, oranges in some spots, yellow. And then there's mosses, small herbaceous plants all around up here too. That's actually enough to support quite a bit of wildlife up here. So we've got little rabbits called pika. That's kind of the smallest ones you'll see around. They'll dart around through rocks up here. You get golden mantled ground squirrels, which are a little bit bigger, kind of look like a big chipmunk with a white stripe down the middle of their back. And then you get marmots, big furry fellas that like to hang out in the sun, sunbathe. On occasion, you might actually see a mountain goat up here as well. They have been spotted before. So we're about to dock. On the main level here, there is a gift shop and bathrooms. Upstairs, the restaurant is closed now because it is past 4 o'clock. If you want to, there is a boardwalk that goes around the back of our property. You can get some nice views from back there. Once it goes off of the boardwalk and onto the mountain, you're stepping onto National Parks territory. So any assistance required would actually have to be called through by Parks Canada. That's no longer under our jurisdiction, so we have no liability covering that. It might be a little bit slippery up there. It was raining off and on all day, so please be careful when you're up there.
Okay. Thank
Also,
you.
weather conditions can change at any time, so stay on the marked trail. There's rocks on the other side of it. Because fog can come in like 20 minutes, and you can just lose your way up there. So do stay on the marked trail. The last flight down is at 6 o'clock. We try and have everyone in the lobby by 5:30 at the latest because lineups start building after that time.
Okay.
So when you're ready, just come back into the lobby and we will get you down on the next available flight for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
I'll let
you.
you out this door.